Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is one from a while ago where I was playing with Dina's new media art cards. And I don't know whether this is just the way that my brain works, but when I first got them I just wanted to kind of stroke them and look at them. I didn't really think about actually using them in my art until I saw Dina doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, here I am. So trying to think outside the box is not always easy if you get something like this that you really love and you think, I want to keep those. But actually, as a jumping off point for a journal page, they are a great start, not only in the prompt that they give you, the colours, the media that you can see that's been used on it, but also to put it into your journal page. So I'm going to cut out a window that is a little bit smaller than the art card itself, and just using my craft knife, as you can see, and then I'm going to embed the art card into my journal page. So you can see I'm just cutting out the shape of the art card. I'm squaring off those corners. I'm not rounding them because it's just easier to do it like that. Then I'm going to trace through on the page behind. I have done already, and cut out that window as well. So I've done that twice, which means then I'm going to be able to see both sides of the art card, meaning that you're not losing anything. So then I'm using my double-sided tape to stick that in place, just because it's nice and quick and easy. And then I can pop some more over the top. I mean, for me, this is just an easy choice, really. Using this to stick things in like this, add pages together. Be really careful when you stick pages together. There is a certain way you need to do it, otherwise you'll... So I'm going to add some white gesso onto the page to start off with, mostly because the background of the art card has got white in it as well. So that helps with the flow of the colours across the page. And it's going to mean that this is all going to kind of make a bit more sense, because then it joins on to what's going to be there on the journal page. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to see the edge of the cutout window, but, you know, does that really matter? No, I don't really think it does. And if you pull a bit of the gesso onto the art card as well, that's another way that you can kind of help with that flow. So once that was dry, I'm then going to start going in with some colours. So I've got some rainbow colours, as you can see. That's ruby, and I'm just adding some brush strokes on. I've gone through a bit of a phase where making these kind of painterly brush marks on my pages is my go-to thing. I think it's just the way that this kind of journey of art journaling goes. You come across ideas and things that you then become a little bit obsessed with. Maybe I should be speaking for myself. I become obsessed with, and I kind of find myself doing it all the time. So I am now going in with tangerine and just adding a few swipes of that colour on there as well. I think I am washing my brush in between and drying it really well, because I don't want the colours to be watered down at all. So just using a cloth or some paper towels to just dry your brush on is good to really get rid of too much of the moisture that might be held in your bristles. And just carry on building up those colours. So now I'm going in with a little bit of lemon. I realise I was kind of multitasking here and painting and drying at the same time. So you can see I've also added lime, and I think I go in with a bit of evergreen as well, just for that slightly darker tone. Dina often talks about that value change. For me, that's the contrast, that's the lights and the darks. It's the same thing, I guess, and I think adding that sort of like slightly darker green just brings that green alive. It gives it a bit more of a pop. And I'm just going to brush some of that evergreen over the top of what's there already and add a little bit extra contrast and colour on. The reason I'm doing this is I'm looking at that art card and thinking, yeah, okay, so I can see that Dina's got a light and a dark tone in there, and I think the evergreen and the lime work quite nicely. If you wanted to go really dark, then fur would probably be your best bet for that, or just adding a tiny touch of black to the lime, that would work as well. This is sapphire, so it's a nice sort of dark blue, but it's got a really richness to it, which I really like. There are just some little sort of touches of that on the page, so I'm going to add a few bits of that as well. And then, of course, I've got to go in with some iris. It's my absolute favourite. I love this colour. And you can see I'm also adding some of that paint onto the art card as well. So that's just going to help with that flow and the continuity. Now, at the minute, this is looking quite busy. For me, I really love these kind of starts to my journal pages. There's loads of colour, there's movement, and there is some white space, which is always a surprise, of course. It's not something that I always do easily, but I think I sometimes do it without intentionally doing it, which means, you know, for me that's quite good, because I think then I'm obviously art journaling more intuitively and just going with the flow and not overthinking, which is, you know, something we can all be a bit prone to doing. That, I think, is Orchid. Another one of my favourites of the pink and purple hues. I like this one a lot, it's lovely. Gone for a slightly smaller brush now as well, so I could make smaller brush strokes. This brush has been so well used, it is fairly solid. I do need to see if I can revive it in some Murphy's oil soap, which you can find on Amazon. But I would advise that you leave it somewhere where it's well ventilated, because it is quite a strong smell. So now you might be surprised that I'm going in with a stencil over the top of all this craziness, but I'm going to bring in a little bit of white here. So this is one of Dina's stencils. I'm thinking it's called something like Triangular Fence or something like that. It's a really lovely pattern. And you get those areas of calm where those triangles are and the little bits of colour peeping through. And you can see how immediately that pushes that background away. And, you know, I've pulled it across onto the art card as well. So now, of course, one of my favourites, this is the Mantras stencil. I don't actually know if you can still get this. This is a Dina Wakley stencil too. This is Sapphire, and I'm just pulling a bit of text over the top. Text usually appears on most of my journal pages in one way or another. It is one of my go-tos. And I just think, for me, no journal page is complete without text. So I've put out some paint in a sort of circly shape on my mat using one of my cookie cutters. So you can see there's already one of those circle marks on the art card. I'm pulling it across onto the page, and that just gives it that feeling like that art card was there all along. Now it is part of my journal page. And I love the way that Dina has used that circle around the little bird, and that just draws your focus in, doesn't it, into the image, makes that the focal point. So time for a bit of text stuttering apparently, stamping using black archival ink. Of course, you know, I say that I like to use text. It appears in different ways. Stenciling, collage paper, stamping, and sometimes even by writing it myself. For me, that just pulls it all together. Dina's ledger papers are great because you can always find the right quote that you need. I've definitely got favourites. I've got pages of the same quotes and they've all got the same ones missing. So that must be telling me something, I guess. Yeah. So I'm going to add a quote onto here and then that is finished. Oh, some splatters, some black splatters. I've got the back to do as well. I'm going to see if I can find the video for that one. But yeah, you can see how I've embedded that art card into my journal page. And yes, you can see the edges in some places, but that is how you can create that flow by adding something onto a journal page. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. So as we go into 2025, I hope to be sharing with you lots more art journal inspiration and videos. So thanks for watching and I hope to see you again soon.